Correct?
Yung copy ko, Your Honor, hindi ko makita yung date.
Oh, I'll help you. There is a note received on the upper right that is unclear. Can we flash that on the screen as well? It is unclear, but it appears to have been received on February 5, 2025, correct? So more or less 6 days after transmittal. Do you confirm this?
Your Honor, before the witness answers the question, I would like to commence
counsel.
my objection on the ground of relevance. May I explain, Your Honor, please? This witness testified that what they filed with the NBI, with the DOJ, is a February 10 affidavit investigation. And here comes the defense now, asking questions as to the first affidavit of investigations that the NBI submitted, which the DOJ asked them to correct and to provide additional information, which they complied with. And what is now at issue is the February 10 affidavit investigation. That's why I'm now objecting on the grounds of relevance.
Your Honor.
What's the wait, let me finish. What's the point of digging into a prior affidavit investigation when what this witness testified to, when what this witness identified is a later affidavit investigation that is now being considered by the DO? The question is simple. What's the relevance?
Objection is overruled. It goes into the credibility of the witness as well as his ability to testify as to his investigative report. And witness is competent enough anyway. Witness may answer.
Yes, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor, we received that letter on 10 February 2025 based on the second letter submitted to Honorable Richard Anthony D. Fadulion, signed by Judge Jaime B. Santiago. It states here that on 10 February 2025, this Bureau received the certification dated 05 February 2025, where the evaluating prosecutors referred the case for case build-up, citing reasons thereof.
Then in that case, Your Honor, we have a problem because this is
Oh,
part...
Your Honor, objection.
Your Honor, I'm not yet... I'm not-
Objection.
Kindly let counsel finish.
Because like, as I mentioned a while ago, Your Honor, this forms part of the records of this honorable court. This was submitted as page 10 to 11 of Annex G9. This is part of the court's record and we also received this. These are not our documents.
That's why I'm
These
objecting,
are
Your
the
Honor.
prosecution's, I mean the
Counsel for the
prosecution's
prosecution,
documents.
kindly let him finish.
These are not our documents, Your Honor. These are part of the records of the court. This came from them and they attached this to the articles of impeachment. Your Honor, we have all the right to confront each and every document because that forms part of the charge against our client. Now,
Counsel,
if Attorney Lotoc is saying, Your Honor, if I may just be allowed to
This is now
finish,
a manifestation,
that
Your Honor.
it was received on February 10. We just want to counter-manifest, Your Honor, that there is a received stamp here, says February 5.
Your Honor, this is not highly...
Counsel, the presiding officer already overruled the objection of counsel for the prosecutors. And I thought you would end up with a question. Kindly proceed with your cross-examination.
So in other words, you deny that it was received on February 5, 2025 as seen here in this document that is part of the records of the Senate Impeachment Court.
Well, first, Your Honor, hindi ho ako yung nag-receive niyan. Then pangalawa, ang nakapirma ho rito ang dating director namin, Jaime B. Santiago, at ang sinasabi niya, on 10 February 2025, this Bureau received the certification dated 05 February 2025.
All right. Anyway, I'll move on to a new point. This certification noted 7 items, and we went through this the last time with Agent Calilong, so I won't delve on that. But basically, just to go through this very quickly, the first point says that there is no affidavit of the person, so no affidavit. The second point is, or the second note is the press briefing conducted on October 18, so no TSN and affidavit of the person taking the TSN. Number 3 is annexes I and K with marking, so no affidavit of recorder and no TSN and affidavit. Number 4, Annex L did not indicate who made such TSN, so incomplete information. Number 5, the affidavit of Juan Patria Morales, so no USB. Number 6, only the minutes of the meeting with several so no affidavit. But I'd like...
Oh, Your Honor, that's my objection now.
I'm just reading
Where's
it, Your
the
Honor.
question?
Kindly-
Wait for the question.
kindly
Okay,
let
I'm
the
going
I'm going to the
counsel.
question. I'm just
Thank
laying
you.
the basis, Your Honor. Now, I'd like to highlight note number 7. Please allow me to read that portion, or at least the latter portion thereof. It says there, in the instant complaint, only the NBI executed an affidavit and there was no participation on the part of the offended parties. As it appears, NBI is not the offended party for the crime of grave threats. My question is this. So based on note number 7, according to the DOJ, the NBI is not the offended party, correct?
Based on number 7, based on number 7, NBI is not the offended party for the crime of grave threats.
Okay, very well. So the offended parties, if at all, are President BBM, the First Lady, and the former Speaker, correct?
Yes, sir.
At any rate, all these, the 7 notes that I mentioned, are all deficiencies in the first affidavit of investigation, correct?
It's not deficiency, Your Honor, because the affidavit, the first affidavit we've submitted is substantial in terms of establishing the evidence required. This requirement is a matter of complying the required quantum of evidence required under DC-20. And if I may, sir, the purpose of submitting our referral to the Department of Justice is for preliminary investigation, which under the NPS rules, the new rules under the NPS, the law enforcement agency can submit a complaint affidavit, or in fact, submit a complaint before the DOJ for purposes of preliminary investigation. The requirement that the offended party should have that complaint affidavit is not an indispensable requirement, and so far as the preliminary investigation is concerned. So far as the preliminary investigation is concerned.
Very well. Now, based on that answer, I'd just like to point your attention to the portion of this certification dated February 5, 2025, next to the box ticked with an X. Kindly allow me to read, if we can highlight that portion. Okay. It says here, and you can read with me, insufficient for the conduct of preliminary investigation and must first be referred for case build-up. So in Filipino, this is my question, I'll do it in Filipino. So in other words, nakulangan yung DOJ, correct?
For purposes, Your Honor, of satisfying the elements, I mean the required quantum of evidence, the DOJ required us to attach the affidavits and other documents like the TSN, sir.
Thank you. And the DOJ itself mentioned this, correct? Or said this, correct?
Based on the certification.
All right. In fact, let me direct your attention to the portion after, I quote, must first be referred for case build-up. Can we flash that also on the screen? And allow me to read. The complaint/referral does not contain all the necessary evidence to prove the essential elements of the crime. Therefore, it is recommended that the same be first referred for case build-up. Okay? Now, let me get this straight. I'll summarize first and then I'll ask the question. So, the subject incident happened on November 23, 2024. And the NBI conducted fact-finding investigation, as you said. You subpoenaed individuals, conducted interviews, gathered evidence, among others, as you said also. And the NBI spent over 2 months or until January 30, 2025 for this process. Is this a fair summation of what we had just discussed?
I don't think so, Your Honor.
You don't agree. And yet, when the NBI transmitted the case to the DOJ on January 30, 2025, the DOJ found it to be insufficient for the conduct of preliminary investigation.
Objection, Your Honor. Continuing objection as to this series of questions as to the prior affidavit investigation, which was corrected in a February 10, 2025. Continuing objection, Your Honor.
The
Register.
continuing objection is noted. Same ruling by the court. Witness may answer.
Yes, Your Honor. The fact that the Department of Justice
That would be
issued
enough.
another
That would be enough.
certification.
Yes,
Kindly let the
All right.
witness finish.
We will
counsel.
comply, Your Honor.
Are
The
you
fact
done,
that the
Mr.
Department of
Witness?
Justice issued another certification on February 14, 2025, and it states here that the referral is sufficient for conduct of preliminary investigation and that it contains all the necessary evidence to prove the essential elements of the crime and should be docketed for preliminary
With the
investigation.
permission of the parties, Attorney Lotoc, that's the second certification.
Yes
You're
po,
speaking
Your
of.
Honor. The second certification.
Counsel for the respondent.
Yeah, we
please.
will go to that. In other words, based on this certification, the DOJ did not affirm the NBI's recommendation, correct?
No, part of the process of evaluation and case build-up, the DOJ require us to comply with the requirements na hinihingi nila gaya ng mag-attach kayo ng affidavit, mag-attach kayo ng TSN, pero wala hong sinabi ang DOJ doon na hindi substantial yung aming affidavit. Ang require lang ho nila, mag-attach kayo ng yun nga, yung affidavit no, na-record yung video at then yung TSN, sir.
Well, according to you, but we just
Oh,
read
no, you're
that it was
argumentative.
insufficient. Your Honor,
Objection, argumentative.
Argumentative, asked and answered. Move on, counsel.
okay, that's interesting because there was a 2025 impeachment complaint filed against VP Sara also on February 5, 2025. If you know.
Again, Your Honor, what?
The date is important because there was also a February 5, an impeachment complaint filed against VP Sara also on February 5, 2025. Correct?
Hindi ako familiar.
You're not
sa-
familiar. That's okay. If I may refresh your memory, this was the fast-track 2025 impeachment complaint signed by the
Objection,
215
Your Honor.
representatives.
If a ground arises, a counsel can object. The term fast-tracked,
Oh, Your Honor.
you are labeling a process made by House of Representatives as fast-tracked. Objection, Your Honor, please.
Counsel, move on and ask your question.
If you know, if this coincides with that impeachment complaint that was signed by the 215
Objection, Your Honor.
representatives.
There's no basis. This counsel,
If you
this
know.
witness, again, already said that he is not aware that on that day there was an impeachment complaint. There's
Counsel-
no basis for that question.
Counsel, witness already answered. The counsel for prosecutor is correct. Witness already answered. He's not familiar with the filing of an impeachment complaint on that date.
At any rate, this
Move on.
pertains to the November 23, 2024 video, correct?
Objection, vague, Your Honor. What's the question? Referring to a video. Objection, vague.
Kindly restate your question, counsel.
The complaint. The complaint that was filed against the Vice President also pertains to the November 23, 2024 video.
Objection,
if you know.
Again, vague. Complaint filed on that date.
Well, if he knows, he already answered. He doesn't. Who knows? He might all of a sudden recall. Do you know? Are you familiar with that, Mr. Attorney Lotoc?
I said, Your Honor, hindi ako familiar nung filing nung sa impeachment.
Yeah.
You're not familiar. Okay, I'll move on to a new point then.
Move
now,
on, counsel.
Now, did you rectify your January 30, 2025 affidavit of investigation?
January 30.
January 30, 2025 affidavit of investigation. In short, the first affidavit of investigation.
We complied with
You
the requirements of the Department of Justice.
All right. Did anybody ask you to rectify?
What do you mean? sir?
Microphone. Use the microphone.
What do you mean?
Did you receive any directive from anybody to rectify that affidavit of investigation?
Objection, argumentative. The question was asked. He said we complied, and then he's now asking the
I'm
same
asking
question.
who? I'm asking if there is another person who directed you to satisfy the requirement.
Overruled.
withdraw,
Witness
withdraw.
will answer. Witness is an intelligent witness. Aside from the fact that he's a lawyer.
Your Honor, when we received the certification dated 05, February 2025, ito ho yung kinumply namin.
All right. And you added affidavits executed by your agents, correct? To your revised affidavit of investigation, correct?
No, we didn't revise the affidavit of investigation. We just produced the affidavits of the fact that the video was recorded and there was TSN. Yun ho yung in-attach namin sa affidavit of investigation.
So you are denying that you produce a revised affidavit of investigation?
Well, when you say kasi revised affidavit, binago namin yung affidavit namin. Hindi ho namin binago, Your Honor, yung affidavit namin. Nag-require ho ang Department of Justice, kulang kayo ng affidavit As to the fact na nirecord nyo yung video, kulang kayo doon sa affidavit, kung sino nag-execute ng TSN, etc. But not the substance ng affidavit, Your Honor.
All right, I'll go back to the point later, but let me highlight one very important observation. Okay, your January 30, 2025 affidavit of investigation included a transmittal letter, as you said, as well as an investigation data form or IDF, correct?
Wala akong kopya dito, sir.
You don't have a copy. Okay. In fact, let's show that IDF. Page 12, this is page 12 of Annex G9 for the benefit of this honorable court as well. Okay, this is an investigation data form. You're very familiar with this document because you're an investigator, correct? Now, this was...
Kindly wait for the witness to answer.
He
Are you
nodded his
familiar?
head.
Yeah, investigation data form, sir.
Okay.
Opo, Your Honor.
All right. So in other words, the IDF serves like a cover letter for your affidavit of investigation, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the transmittal letter, along with this IDF, was received by the DOJ, correct?
Yeah, I believe so, sir.
All right. Now, my question is this. Was the investigation data form also received by the DOJ?
I don't have personal knowledge.
You don't have, but you were the one who caused the filing of the affidavit
No, I-
attached to this
I-
affidavit of investigation data
I
form,
instructed
correct?
the agent on case, as well as the executive officer na pagkumpleto na, pwede ninyo nang i-file yan sa Department of Justice for purposes of evaluation and case build-up if warranted, sir.
Okay. But here, upon perusal of this investigation data form, there is a stamp received in the upper left portion of this data investigation form. And I'd like to note, Your Honor,
Oh.
and for the benefit of the court, can I ask my co-counsel also to distribute among the senator judges a printed copy so that they can peruse this document better, as well as the witness, so he can confront. There is a stamp Department of Justice received, but it appears that it was initially stamped February 12, 2025, but there is a marking, a manual marking that converted it to January 30. And there is also a word there, JAN. So January 30 ang lumabas, no?
Okay.
My question to you is this. The stamp says Department of Justice, correct?
Well,
No,
wala akong hawak na document ko,
You
Your
can
Honor.
perceive it.
Kung-
And
kung
mind you,
yung-
these are not our documents. These are part of Annex G9 of the Articles of Impeachment. So these are not our documents.
Your Honor, I would like to object now. The witness already said that he is not aware as to the actual filing because he only asked his agent on case to investigate. And then now the witness is now being propounded to question as to what appears on the stamp as to the time or date of receipt by the DOJ. So the witness said he is not competent to answer that. Your Honor, please. Oh, wait, I'm not done. That's the first one. Your Honor, please. No need for the court to rule, but I am registering my continuing objection to this series of questions as to the prior affidavit of investigation, when in fact, this witness already said that he complied with all the requirements by the DOJ and came up with a February 10, 2025 affidavit investigation. So I move that it be noted, Your Honor, please. The
The
continuing
continuing
objection.
objection of counsel for the prosecutor is noted, but counsel, as pointed out by counsel for the respondent, this is part and parcel of the complaint
Yes.
that the panel of prosecutors filed before this court. If the witness knows, he may answer.
So the question is, the SAM says Department of Justice, correct? It's a very basic question.
Again, I don't know, Your Honor.
No, based on this document,
Argumentative, Your Honor.
the only question is, it says Department of Justice, correct?
As I've said, Your Honor, hindi ako ang nag-file. May inutusan do ako.
Do you see it in the screen
Oh,
and do you
Your
see it
Honor,
in the
the
hard
witness-
copy?
Counsel asked and answered, move on. That's
Okay.
the response of the witness.
So will you agree that considering that this was supposed to be received by the DOJ, it is only the DOJ that has the authority to change the date?
Again, you asked the DOJ, sir. Wala ho akong
Exactly.
idea dyan.
All right.
Counsel for the prosecution, kindly avoid.
All right, but
side
this is not from the DOJ. This is your copy. This is a receiving copy. So when you receive back your receiving copy, you did not bother checking this portion?
Your Honor, hindi ako personally nag-receive niyan.
But this is your affidavit of investigation.
Objection argumentative, Your Honor. Asked and answered.
Asked and answered. Move on, counsel.
All right. My question to you now is this. The discrepancy is not 1 day or 2 days. The discrepancy is from Feb 12 to January 30. So it is a substantial discrepancy. My question to you is this. Who changed this
Objection.
date?
Objection, Your
If
Honor.
you know.
That's misleading, Your Honor. My goodness, that's misleading. This counsel is assuming that somebody changed what? The counsel failed to elicit any answer from this witness. And now the counsel is conceiving that somebody changed that and confronting our witness with that. Misleading. This is the classic case of a misleading question.
Counsel-
You assume something that has yet to be established. That's not how we do it. With all due respect.
Counsel for respondent, I think you made your point and you gave a copy to the senator judges, and we see your point.
All right.
Move on.
But my more important observation is this.
Objection, Your Honor, please. You are supposed to ask questions and
Yes,
not
I will.
make
I will go to the
observations.
question. I will go to the question.
Kindly allow counsel for respondent to finish his question. He may just still be laying the basis. You may
Thank you,
proceed,
Your Honor.
counsel.
That's precisely
for
what I'm doing, Your Honor. Can I direct everyone's attention to the date appearing at the bottom portion of this document?
Well,
It says
counsel-
here-
Counsel, technically not everyone, just the witness.
Yes.
And let's see if the witness can answer your question.
It says here February 11, 2025. So in other words, it was and it says here subscribed before NBI agent Ricarte. In other words, the date of the document is February 11, but it was received on January 30, 2025 by the DOJ. Do you have any explanation for this? That's the
Objection,
question.
Your Honor. Objection. This witness is incompetent to attest to that exactly because he said he is not aware of this series of facts. I know where the counsel for respondent is going. Unfortunately for him, his line of argument was already nipped in the bud when this witness said he is not aware of that. He should move on to other points.
Your Honor, the witness said that the investigation date, this investigation data form was attached to the original affidavit of investigation. And we want an explanation why there is a discrepancy on the date. The witness is a lawyer.
Exactly.
He has
that's
an
the point.
experience, Your Honor, in filing cases. We just want to know, Your Honor. We want to get to the bottom of this
I have to
matter.
object to that. I have to
If-
object to
the
Considering
witness-
also, Your Honor, that this is about transparency.
Will the parties please settle down? If the witness knows,
Yes.
Attorney Lotoc, do you know? Can you explain the discrepancy, or are you personally aware of the discrepancy?
I cannot explain this, Your Honor. Unang-una, hindi ako nakapirma dito, hindi ako nag-receive. At wala akong idea dito sa...
But Attorney Lotoc, you see the point that the counsel for respondent is trying to make, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
That the
But,
date of receipt was changed to 1/30, January 30, but it was subscribed to on February 11. Meaning,
But-
you see it, but you have no personal knowledge how that came about.
yes, Your Honor. I don't have...
Move on,
personal-
counsel.
Yeah.
So, doesn't this demonstrate that that the document was
Allow
tampered
counsel to
with?
finish.
Doesn't this demonstrate, if you know that this document was tampered with, does
Objection,
that
Your Honor.
demonstrate
Exactly. He's now arguing with our witness, Your Honor.
Sustained. Move on, counsel. Move on to your next topic, counsel.
Your Honor, but you agree,
Oh.
Attorney Lotoc, that the IDF is not a simple cover letter, correct?
Asked and answered, Your Honor.
Okay, in fact, it is an affidavit, correct?
Yeah. Again,
An IDF is an affidavit, correct?
an ID... I don't think so, Your Honor. It's not an affidavit, Your Honor. It's
The investigation data form.
it's not an affidavit.
So you don't agree. So in other words, this certification part here, and with the subscribed and sworn to, it is for you. This is not an affidavit.
Argumentative, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I just
Objection,
I just made my
argumentative.
question more specific, Your Honor. There is a part here, subscribed and sworn to, and the witness is. I want to ask the witness if he considers this document as an affidavit despite this portion. What's the answer? Is it an affidavit or
Attorney
not?
Lotoc, is this sworn to? Is this document sworn to? What's the title of the instrument again? Can you go up?
Investigation data form, Your Honor.
Is an investigation data form subscribed and sworn to by the person filing it? To your knowledge?
Yes, Your Honor. There is subscribed and sworn to before this 11th day of February and signed by the administering officer.
Okay.
And as law practitioners, we know that when we file a case before the office of the city prosecutor, this actually
Your Honor, again. Objection.
if you know you are a lawyer
Continued
and you are a
objection as to-
supervisor
If
of
I
your
may.
department, I'm just asking a basic question.
I am now-
As a law practitioner, as a lawyer, you know that this IDF is signed and subscribed before the public prosecutor when you file a case, correct?
If I may object, Your Honor, continuing objection as to the relevance of this series of
Noted,
questions.
same
Your Honor, please.
ruling. Witness may answer if he knows.
Again, Your Honor, before the prosecutor?
Correct. In normal cases, the IDF is subscribed and sworn to before the public prosecutor, correct?
Well, in this case, Your Honor, it was administered by Assistant Director Glenn Ricarte, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm glad you pointed that out. Isn't Ricarte from the NBI?
Yes, Assistant Director po siya.
In other words, this is a DOJ document, but you made your subscription before an NBI agent. Isn't that supposed to be before the DOJ agent?
But again, wala akong personal knowledge dyan sa details na yan, sir. Siguro tanungin nyo kung sino ho yung naka-affix ang signature.
All right.
dyan, sir.
But what is worse, if I can
Object-
direct
Your Honor,
your-
objection. Another objection, Your Honor. You know, this council is in the habit of inserting,
Your Honor,
adding value
if we
to
may
what is otherwise.
Just be allowed to continue, Your Honor. This is our time. We've given them enough
Counsel
leeway, Your
for the
Honor, after more than
prosecutors,
hours.
Let him lay the basis of his question.
Yes.
All right. Can I direct your attention to the upper right portion of this IDF? It states docketed 3/7/2025, and there is a docket number XVI-INV-25C-00048. Again, this is not with the source of this document is not the DOJ. This is your receiving copy, correct? In fact, this was part of the subpoena documents which you sent to the House of Committee on Justice, correct?
Objection. Compound questions. 2 questions.
Okay, I'll
Kindly reform, counsel.
so, all right. My question is this, okay? So, do you confirm that there is a marking on the upper right which says docketed 3/7/25, and there's a docket number assigned?
In this document, sir, yes.
All right. We manifest, Your Honor, that this is still the same Annex G9. So in other words, you're telling this court that this document was subscribed on February 11, 2025, received on January 30, 2025, and docketed on whatever it is, July 3 or March 7, 2025. Is that what you're saying?
That's compound. That's compound. You're asking 2 dates and asking for 1 question.
No, Your Honor, I just described the document
Exactly.
as it
Compound
is.
question. Ask 1 question per date. That is exactly the genius why we don't allow compound questions. You're asking 2 questions and asking this witness to answer once. That's dangerous. That's
Counsel,
compound
it's so,
question.
counsel, presiding officer will clarify the matter. Questions were earlier asked already with respect to the February subscription and the January 30 receipt. Insofar as the docketing is concerned, do you see the numbers and or dates 3/7/25, Attorney Lotoc?
Yes, Your Honor, in this document, there is number 3/7/25.
And for clarity, NPS docket means National Prosecution Service.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that correct?
Opo. Yes,
So
Your
it's a
Honor.
docket of the National Prosecution Service.
Yes, Your Honor.
Proceed, counsel.
All right. So now I'm showing you pages 169, 168, 169 also of Annex G9. This pertains to the affidavit of Agent Kalilong, which is an attachment now to the revised affidavit of investigation. You added this document to rectify the January 30 affidavit of investigation, correct?
Again, sir?
You added this document in order to rectify the January 30, the first affidavit of investigation, correct? And we will confront you with the document. Again, these are not our documents.
The document was signed by Agent Mark Kalilong and subscribed and sworn to before Attorney Van Homer Angluben. Sir.
Okay. So in other words, I just want to take a look on the date. Can we flash the date? So when you received the February 5 certification from the DOJ, you executed this, and it was February 10.
Objection.
correct?
No,
I'm not the one
that's
who
now
executed
misleading.
it.
That's misleading. It's Agent Kalilong who executed that, and then you're asking you executed that. That's misleading.
No,
It's clear
but-
on the record.
But this is part of the revised affidavit of investigation, which this
Objection,
witness
revised.
co-signed.
The
If he
witness
knows-
already said
if
that
he
they
knows.
did not revise it. They just complied. Misleading, Your Honor.
Oh, you want to
Misleading.
go? Okay, since the,
Counsel, kindly settle down. The question, Attorney Lotoc, is did you add, in order to comply with the DOJ requirement, this affidavit signed by Agent Kalilong? And is the date February 10? Meaning in compliance with the DOJ observation, is this one of the affidavits that you added? And is it dated?
Although I don't have my record, it appears so, Your Honor, based on the document shown to me by the counsel.
Both as to the fact that it was one of the affidavits added and as to the date, Attorney Lotoc.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
All
Go
right.
on, Counsel.
I am showing you another affidavit. This is page 178, 179 of Annex G9. This now pertains to the Geran affidavit. This was also an attachment to the revised affidavit of investigation.
Objection
correct?
again, Your Honor, please. The continuing use of revise, when this witness already said that they did not revise anything, they just complied with the requirement. That's now misleading.
Your Honor, just
many
to-
times over, misleading.
All right, just to put this issue at rest, Your Honor, I'm confronting the witness with a letter to Richard Anthony D. Fadulion dated February 11, 2025. And I want to read, Your Honor, the last paragraph thereof. It says, to support our recommendation, attached herein is the revised affidavit of investigation. This is not our document. This is the NBI's document. Can Attorney Lotoc be confronted with this document, please?
It
Attorney
was signed.
Lotoc, please answer.
Yes, Your Honor. It was signed by then Director Judge Jaime B. Santiago.
Can you confirm the last sentence for the record? Can you read it for the record?
To support the recommendation, attached herein is the revised affidavit of investigation, including its attachment.
Can you repeat the word before the word affidavit of
Ask and
investigation,
answered,
please?
Your Honor. Ask
Asked
and
and
answered.
answered. So,
Then I'm not misleading after all. Anyway,
Objection, Your Honor. That's an unnecessary statement. Counsel is supposed to ask questions and not make these remarks.
counsels, kindly settle down. We're about to wind up the day.
all right. I'm showing you now pages, proceed, 178 to 179 of the revised affidavit of investigation. Can we be confronted with that document? The date is February 10, 2025. I just want to confirm the date if that is correct. As it
Date-
appears from the document.
As it appears here, 10th day of February 2025.
Oh, very well. I am showing you now pages 187 to 188 of Annex G9, also a Kalilong affidavit, which is an attachment to the revised affidavit of investigation. Can we flash the date of that document?
What's the question?
Also February 10. So in other words, you attach this to your revised affidavit of investigation.
It appears here, 10th day of February 2025, sir.
And you attached it to your affidavit of investigation, correct?
As an attachment, sir.
All right, very good. Now, showing you 199 to 200 of Annex G9. Now, this is the Asuncion affidavit. And I'll make a point in a couple of questions, Your Honor. Can you just confirm the date also and if it was attached to your revised affidavit of investigation?
10th day, it appears here, 10th day of February 2025.
All right. So it was attached also to your revised affidavit of investigation.
Assumption. Yes.
All right. Now this is the question. I'm showing you now page 112 of Annex G9, another Kalilong affidavit. Did you also add this to rectify your January 30 affidavit of investigation or the first affidavit of investigation? We have here a soft copy, affidavit of transcription. Was this also a document that was lacking in your first affidavit of investigation, which you added to your revised affidavit of investigation?
Again, Your Honor, registering my continuing objection as to the relevance of this series of questions that is consuming the entirety of the defense's turn to cross-examine this witness. What's the relevance?
Noted. Same ruling. Witness may answer.
Again, Your Honor,
Was this also part of the revised affidavit of investigation to rectify the defects that we highlighted a while ago?
no, there was no rectification. There was no defect. Again, this is part of the compliance given us by the Department of Justice for us to comply.
All right, if you want to use that term. So in other words, after you received the Feb 5 certification, this was also one of the documents that you attached to your revised affidavit of investigation. Correct?
I believe so. Part of the compliance,
All right.
sir.
My issue is this.
Oh.
Let me direct your attention to the bottom portion of this affidavit. It says here, in witness hereof, I have, can you zoom that in? I can't read it. The date is February 3, 2025. Can you zoom that in? So in other words, you are trying to convince this court that when you...
What's the question? What's the question?
This is the question. Are you trying to convince this court that you executed this affidavit prior...
Objection, misleading.
He did not execute
not.
the
No,
affidavit,
sorry. You attached this affidavit prior to the Feb 5, 2025 certification?
Prior to what, Your Honor? February 10?
Okay. You receive a certification on February 5, 2025,
Yep.
correct? And you said that you added affidavits after receipt thereof. Now, you mentioned a while ago that this was one of the affidavits that you added, and yet the date came prior to the DOJ certification dated February 5, 2025. Do you confirm this?
I think ang makakasagot po niyan si Agent Kalilong, Your Honor, kasi may mga attachment na kami during the first affidavit na na-include na doon sa mga nire-require ng prosecutor na nandun na. And then nung nag-issue ang prosecutor gaya po ng number 2, the press briefing, sige muna. Ito, Your Honor, gaya ng number 1, there is no affidavit of the persons who recorded the video entitled BP November 23 Press Con at Batasan through OBS. When in truth and in fact, kasama ho na and-attach na doon yung affidavit of authentication doon sa unang affidavit.
So in other words, you're telling this court that the DOJ made this mistake? That there was no...
Not necessarily, Your Honor. Pwedeng hindi nakita ng prosecutor na naka-attach na yun. Kasi
hindi lang
nandun
nakita.
po sa date na January 30 yung execution ng affidavit of authentication.
Your Honor, if before we continue, Your Honor, I'm noticing something, Your Honor, please. The defense is in the process, has been presenting portions of an alleged document, and they're making notes. I don't think that's proper, Your Honor. When you present a document, you present the document as is. You don't make annotations.
Exactly, Your
Note
Honor.
number 2. That's not proper, Your Honor.
We are presenting the actual document and we're confronting it. This is just to address, Your Honor, what was intimated by the senators that they want to be able to follow the discussion, Your Honor, using the screen.
If I may, my problem with that, Your Honor, please, because it's like you presenting your observation on a document and you're showing that to the court when what you're supposed to do is just to confront this witness with a document without any annotations. That's just my observation, Your Honor.
Noted. Counsel, please proceed. For respondent, please proceed.
Meaning, but if you go to the contents, right, it says here, and let me read, the press briefing conducted on October 18, 2024 was not recorded and or stored in a DVD. No video submitted and there was no TSN of the said briefing. And do you confirm now that this note on Feb 5 was actually addressed by the affidavit submitted by Agent Calilo?
What? Come again, sir?
This note was satisfied by the submission of the affidavit by Agent Calilo.
What affidavit, sir?
The affidavit of transcription dated February 3.
But can I see the affidavit, sir?
Yeah.
Para lang sure.
The one that we showed a while ago. It pertains to the same because if you read here, if I may be allowed to read paragraph 1, can you zoom that in? Or no, paragraph 2, it says there, in relation to the ongoing investigation, the undersigned was tasked to transcribe. So this transcribed the screen-recorded video of the press conference of VP Sara on 18 October 2024. So in other words, this was exactly what the DOJ required, correct?
Yeah, base certification na in-issue, ang sabi ng DOJ, the press briefing conducted in October 18, 2024 was not recorded and was stored in a DVD. There was no TSN of the said briefing and the necessary affidavit of the person taking the TSN.
And yet, on its face, this was, because the date is February 3, on its face, this was executed prior to the Feb 5, 2025 certification, which noted this requirement.
As I've said, Your Honor, ang nag-uusap po dyan ang prosecutor at saka si Agent Calilong, may mga attachment ho kasi nung first affidavit na hindi napansin ng prosecutor. So
that's your answer. Okay. So, but the thing is, if I let's go back to the IDF, investigation data form. Now, the docket number that is indicated here is XVI INV 25C-0008. But in the Feb 5 2025 certification, can we flash that? The docket number is different, appears to be different. It's XVI EVAL-INV-25A-0049. Moreover, in the subsequent DOJ certification dated Feb 14, 2025, the docket number is also XVI-INV-25A-0049. Do you confirm the difference in the docket numbers?
Your Honor, no personal knowledge and DOJ ho ang naglagay ng docket number na yan.
But do you confirm that it was different? These are all received copies.
Ask and answer, Your Honor, please. Ask and answer, argumentative.
No, the answer is not responsive.
Counsel, move on.
So in other words, despite the discrepancy in numbers, you still decided to push through with the case.
What, Your Honor?
Despite the discrepancy in docket numbers, you still decided to push through with the handling of this case, correct?
Again, I cannot confirm on the numbers because it's the DOJ who placed that number, sir. Ulitin ko ho, mas maganda ho tanungin nyo ang Department of Justice, sir. Chan.
But insofar as you are concerned, as you are the complainant in this case, correct? Insofar as you are concerned, what is the correct docket number? Is it the one ending in 0049?
I will now object.
Or
I will now
is it the
object.
one ending in 004? What they used, Your Honor?
I will now object on the ground of misleading. You showed two docket numbers which appear different. And you have yet to establish that there is a wrong one and a correct one. And you have not established that. This witness said he is not aware of that. You have not established that there is something to be corrected. That's why the objection now, Your Honor, please. That's misleading. You assume that something is wrong that has to be corrected. Misleading.
Counsel, witness is not competent to answer your question. He already responded that this is a DOJ form, but he is not aware, and that it might be proper to ask the DOJ instead at the proper time. Move on with another point, Counsel. I think we've unless there's another inconsistency, you can move on to another inconsistency or another point.
Your Honor, just one last on this point. But in terms of what you followed, because as we know, you submit subsequent pleadings as to these two docket numbers. Which one did you follow? The 00048 or the 0049?
Well, I don't have the record here, Your Honor. If I can check my own record.
Do you have it with
Can
you
you do
now?
that now?
Counsel, can you give him a copy of his record?
Yung full record. Tingnan ko. Yeah.
The chair finds that relevant because in filing additional pleadings or other materials to the DOJ, they need to indicate the NPS number for reference. So which one are you following? Which one did you follow subsequent to this?
Yes, sir. February. Wala rito ah. Ito ba? Well, wala ho rito, sir. Teka. Ang naalala ko, sir, yung sa investigation data form, dated February 11.
Ano pong nakalagay na NPS docket number doon? Meron po ba?
Yun po, sir, ang hindi ko, Your Honor, hindi ko po ma-confirm kung anong NPS docket number. Ito ba yun? Teka, saan ang NPS ito?
Your Honor, may we just manifest for the record that the witness is perusing the IDF investigation data form that is attached to the articles of impeachment, Annex G9.
So noted.
Well, this is the document from the defense, Your Honor. I cannot confirm, Your Honor. As of the
Move on,
moment, I
Counsel.
cannot confirm.
But this is as received, correct? So in other words, you just received the document and you didn't bother to...
Argumentative.
To check.
Objection.
Counsel, let him finish, but indeed it is argumentative. Move on to the next question, Counsel. With the permission of Senator Judge Tulfo, are you winding up or not yet, Counsel? Not yet?
Far from it, Your Honor.
Then Senator Judge Tulfo is recognized. What is the pleasure of Senator Judge Tulfo?
Just manifestation.
You may proceed, sir.
Presiding Judge. And question as well. Mr. Witness,
You have 2 minutes.
okay. Mr. Witness, a lot of questions were asked to you regarding the filing with the Office of the DOJ, in particular, regarding the docketing, dating, subscription for an investigation data form. Now, can you tell this court what exactly is your role and what did you do in relation to the filing of this investigation data form? Ano yung pinaka-role mo talaga dito?
I
Yung
instructed,
papel mo talaga rito?
Yes, Your Honor. I instructed the executive officers as well as the agent on case to file our referral to the Department of Justice. So sila na ho ang nag-ayos niyan, sir, insofar as the investigation data form, insofar as other requirements. Ang instruction ko is comply with the requirement given by the Department of Justice, and then you submit it, and then kung ano yung kanilang guidance, you comply with it.
Okay, Mr. Presiding Judge, in my humble opinion, I think the errors in the investigation data form should be answered by the receiving office, and I think he's not, hindi siya talaga yung dapat sumagot sa mga katanungan na ibinabato sa kanya ngayon. Mukhang hindi siya really that qualified at sumasablay-sablay itong taon to. Thank you.
Noted. Senator Judge Erwin Tulfo, thereafter Senator Judge Alan Cayetano.
Quick question, Mr. Presiding Officer, to the witness and
You
to
have 2
the
minutes, sir.
prosecution or prosecutor here. Mr. Witness, kailan ba talaga final itong kaso laban kay VP?
Yung una na affidavit po, Your Honor, nag-file kami January 30, if I'm not mistaken.
Taon po, anong taon?
2025, sir.
2025.
And then nag-require po ang Department of Justice ng compliance dahil sabi nga nila nung una na certification insufficient for conduct of preliminary investigation and must be referred for a case build-up. Now, ang ginawa po namin, kinumply po namin yung kanilang mga requirements. And then, come 11 February 2025, niresubmit po namin yung aming affidavit of investigation, Your Honor.
Nasaan na po itong kaso? Naisampa na po ba ng DOJ o hindi pa?
I think ongoing po ang preliminary investigation.
1 year, preliminary. 1 year, over 1 year. January to January is 1, February, March, April, May, June, July. Is that normal for the DOJ to conduct a preliminary about over a year, Mr. Witness?
Di ko po masasagot, sir.
Hindi ninyo
Sorry po.
masagot.
Sa
Could it
DOJ.
be, hindi po kayo nagtatanong sa kanila, Sir, ano problema? Bakit hindi po pa naisasampa sa korte yung aming isinampang kaso dito sa inyo? Hindi po kayo nagtataka?
Ang alam ko, sir, Your Honor
No,
po,
hindi kayo nagtanong po sa kanila kung bakit? May kulang pa po ba DOJ? Ano po ang kakulangan?
Pag ang referral po, Your Honor, is nasa DOJ na, hands off na ho kami doon. Sila ho ang magde-decide noon kung paano nila ipaprocess yung dokumento.
Kaya nga, hindi po kayo nagtataka. Hindi kaya, sir, dito sa mga nakita po natin mga ebidensya rito, mukhang sablay-sablay, parang minadali ho ninyo. Ay kaya, nagkakaproblema ho tayo sa mga korte natin na i-dismiss sa mga kaso dahil kulang ang mga dokumento at parang minadali. But nevertheless, you don't have to answer me that. Let me direct my question now to the prosecutors. Mr. Prosecutor,
Yes.
ito po mga ebidensya na nakita ho natin, hindi pa ninyo ni-review na may mga nakita, hindi nyo nakita itong inconsistencies. Doon nga po sa sinasabi ng defense na pinirmahan, sinubscribe, pero mas maaga yung pagtanggap.
Your Honor, as to whether we perused that, Your Honor, please, unfortunately, we were not party to the preparation of this.
No, but this was
documents.
submitted
Yes, Your Honor.
as evidence, right?
Yes, Your Honor,
Correct.
please. Yes, Your Honor, please. That's why this
Pero-
witness is more than competent to answer that. But the main point of the prosecution, Your Honor, please, they already filed and complied with these requirements and addressed these defects, if you may, by filing a February 10, 2025 affidavit investigation. That's why, if you have observed our good Senator Judge, we have been objecting as to the relevance of this. Exactly because what is in contention now is the latest affidavit of investigation that is now pending before the DOJ, Your Honor, please.
All right. And just a quick manifestation to the NBI. Mr. Witness, next time po pag nagsampaho kayo ng kaso, make sure, kaya nga I was asking you kanina, I already have this feeling something is wrong dahil sobrang tagal na sa DOJ ng kaso ninyo, there's something wrong with the case. Siguro po, next time, make sure na yung kaso isasampa ninyo is airtight. Tama po. Kasi madidismiss yan. Yung mga kaso na medyo hindi po tight talaga ang kaso. Ano po?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sayang naman yung inyong pinaghirapan. Doon, ang dami natin nakita. Totoo po lang na nagmura ang Vice Presidente, nagbanta ang Vice Presidente. Sa ngayon naman po ako, nakita ko naman po yun. Pero pagdating po yun, usually pag sa technicalities tayo nagkakaproblema. Don't forget that.
Yes, Your Honor.
Quick manifestation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Noted, Senator Judge Erwin Tulfo. Senator Judge Alan Cayetano, you have 2 minutes, sir.
Less than 2 minutes, quick clarification lang. So January 30, yung unang affidavit of investigation.
Yes,
Tama?
sir.
January 30, tapos February 5, yun yung sagot ng DOJ na may 7 notes.
Yes, Your Honor.
At February 5, yun din ang filing nung impeachment complaint against against Vice President Sara Duterte. And then, which you said wala kang knowledge doon. I'm just looking at the dates. Then February 10, yung revised na dun sa mga ang ginamit ng DOJ word insufficiency, yung 1 to 7 na punuan, no? Or whatever the term is. So, ang sagot ng witness, sir, sagot mo yung February 3, baka attachment lang kasi nung una yon.
Yes, sir, I think so.
Pero hindi siya pwedeng attachment nung una kasi January 30 sinubmit yun eh. So, hindi ka naman pwede mag-submit ng January 30 na attachment mo February 3. So, you went 3 days into or 4 days into the future kasi may 31 yung January.
Well, sir, siguro ang makakasagot po niyan si Agent Calilong, sir, since
Okay,
siya ang
yeah.
signatory doon.
I don't think you can answer it. Point ko lang, hindi logical na it was an attachment sa January 30 because wala pang February 3 nun eh. So hindi pwedeng post-dated affidavit. Second question lang, sa parehong investigative affidavit of investigation na sinubmit, walang input doon ang PSG, ISAF, PSC, ISAF, CIDG. So kayo lang yan.
A statement, Your Honor, yung in-attach po namin.
Yes. So what I meant is that questions kanina nung many here, including the Senate President Win Gatchalian, na did you consult the investigation ng PSC, etc. So nung final nyo to, walang input directly or indirectly ang Presidential Security Command, ang ISAF, ang PNP, CIDG, and anyone else, the National Security Council. So purely NBI to.
No personal knowledge kung merong correspondence ng ibang agency with the director.
Sorry, hindi kayo pwedeng walang personal knowledge kasi ikaw nag-file eh. Ikaw nakapirma dun sa affidavit. So you would know whether dun sa affidavit na yon they had input or not. No
Yes,
one
Your
else
Honor.
could know because you're the one who signed it.
Yes, Your Honor. Insofar the Cybercrime Division is concerned, kami po yun yung gumawa
Yes.
noon.
So the answer is they had no input.
Hindi ko alam kung... well, insofar as the affidavit is concerned, amin po yun, Your Honor. Now, kung correspondence between other agencies and the NBI, hindi ko na po alam kung may usapan
Okay.
yung
Thank you.
director
Thank you,
at saka ibang
Mr. Presiding Officer. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Judge Cayetano. Senator Judge Ontiveros. Thereafter, Senator Judge Ejercito. Am I correct, JV? Senator Judge Ontiveros is recognized. You may proceed. You have 2 minutes, ma'am.
Salamat po, Mr. Presiding Officer. Less than 2 minutes din po. Attorney Lotoc, sa gitna nung DOJ certification dated February 5, 2025 at yung pag-submit nyo ng kompletong affidavit of investigation na tinanggap na ng DOJ, may nagbago po ba sa di umanong sinabi ng Vice Presidente?
Wala po, Your Honor.
Wala. At sa gitna ng DOJ certification dated February 5, 2025 at yung pag-submit nyo ng kompletong affidavit of investigation na tinanggap na ng DOJ, may nagbago po ba sa rekomendasyon ng NBI?
Wala po, Your Honor.
Salamat po, Attorney Lotoc. Salamat po, Mr.
Thank you,
Presiding
Senator
Officer.
Judge Ontiveros. Senator Judge Ejercito. You may proceed, sir. When you're ready, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. Attorney Lotoc, may
Opo, Your Honor.
dagdag clarification lang. The DOJ pointed out in its certification, yung pong pinakita kanina, noong February 5, 2025, that the NBI is not the proper offended party to file a complaint for grave threats and referred its initial referral for case build-up. As a result of the referral for case build-up by the DO, did the NBI later submit affidavits or statements from the offended parties, namely si Presidente Marcos, First Lady, at si former Speaker Martin Romualdez?
Hindi na po, Your Honor. Nung sinabit ho namin yung aming referral, yun po yung last phase ng investigation. And I think yung prosecutor na ho mag-i-issue ng summon sa mga parties involved. Ang purpose lang ho namin to comply with the requirements of preliminary investigation po.
But earlier sa inyo pong statement, sinabi nyo na ang isa sa mga factors no sa pag-evaluate ng threat, if it is really serious, is through determination of the relationship no between the parties. Sinabi niyo po yun kanina.
Yes po, Your Honor.
So did you try at least to get the statements of the President, the First Lady, or the House of or the Speaker of the House, former Speaker?
Ang pinagbasihan po namin, Your Honor, yung official statement nila dun sa website ng Presidential Communications Office, and then yung public statement ng former Speaker during the plenary session on November 25, 2024, sir.
So that was the basis yung pong nasa PCO website. So you did not bother to get the statements from the offended parties?
I think nung nakita ko namin yung video na nag-issue ng statement yung presidente, na-establish ko namin yung requirement kung ano yung treatment ng presidente nung marinig niya yung utterances ng vice presidente. So, nung nakita namin yon na may reaksyon, ang sabi nga niya is nakakabahala. Based sa aming primary jurisdiction, nag-start to kami ng investigation, sir.
Kanina rin, tinanong ko yung tungkol doon sa revised affidavit of investigation, no? Which you submitted after the DOJ referred to the case for case build-up in its certification doon nga sa February 5, 2025. You mentioned that is just a compliance on the part of the NBI.
Your Honor, ito ho yung part ng evaluation at saka case build-up process. Pag nakita ho ng prosecutor na may kulang pang mga attachment para ho mabuo, maging pulido yung kaso, nagbibigay ho sila ng mga requirement. O NBI, kulang ka nito, i-comply mo to para maidakit natin sa preliminary investigation.
So normal lang po yun, no? Sa investigation agency na magsabit ng additional evidence or revise the affidavits after the case is referred back by the DOJ for case build-up.
As part po ng evaluation at case build-up process, nagtutulungan ho dyan, Your Honor, yung prosecutor and then yung investigator base doon sa requirement ng DC-15, Your Honor.
You mentioned that, last point, Mr. Presiding Officer, you mentioned that the case before the DOJ is still ongoing.
Yes po.
So as of today, Atty. Lotoc, there is still no determination by the DOJ if the case referred by the NBI should be filed in court because there is prima facie evidence of reasonable certainty of conviction.
Well, Your Honor, wala pa po kaming nare-receive na any updates from the Department of Justice. Ang alam po namin is nasa PI pa ho siya, preliminary investigation process, Your Honor.
Thank you, Atty. Lotoc. Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Thank you po, Your Honor.
Noted and entered into the records. Attorney Binluan, you may continue with your cross.
Your Honor, I believe that there's a hanging question insofar as the NBI is concerned.
Ama namin makapangyarihan, lumalapit kami sa iyo nang may pakumbaba, batid namin na ang karunungan ng tao ay may hangganan. Ngunit ang iyong katotohanan at katarungan ay nanatili magpakailanman. Sa pagtupad namin ng aming tungkulin bilang mga senator judges, hinihiling namin ang iyong gabay sa lahat ng aming gagawin. Pagkalooban mo, nawa kami ng tapat na puso at malinaw na pag-iisip sa buong panahon ng paglilitis na ito. Panginoon, nakikiusap po kami, nakain niyo kami sa landas na makatarungan na may patas na pagtingin sa karapatan ng bawat isa. Dalhin niyo kami sa liwanag pagkat nakapiring ang aming mga mata. Hindi man po namin hiningi, ngunit ipinagkatiwala sa aming konstitusyon ang timbangan ng katarungan. Kumiling nawa ito sa karapat-dapat na pagkalooban nito. Nawa ang inyong salita ang maging gabay sa aming paglilingkod at pagdala sa amin sa katotohanan. Kagaya po ng winika sa Leviticus verse 15, do not pervert justice, do not show partiality, but judge your neighbor fairly. Lagi po naman tatandaan ang tagubilin niyong ito. Ama, anuman ang maging bunga ng paglilitis na ito, hindi nawa ito makita bilang tagumpay ng isa at pagkatalo ng iba, kundi para sa ikabubuti ng sambayanang Pilipino. Lahat po ng aming gagawin ay para sa ikalulugod mo at hindi para sa kapakinabangan ng sino bang tao, mga partido o kanilang mga pansariling interes. Kundi ito'y para sa pagpapatibay ng aming mga institusyon, ng pamahalaan at sa pagpapanatili ng tiwala ng mamamayan sa demokrasya ng aming bayan. Buong puso po naming nananalangin na sa lahat ng aming gagawin, lagi namin kayong pinupurihan. Amen.
Amen. The clerk of court will now call the roll.
Roll call of members. Senator Judge Aquino. Senator Judge Cayetano Alan. Senator Judge Cayetano Pia. Senator Judge De La Rosa. Senator Judge Ejercito. Senator Judge Estrada. Senator Judge Go. Senator Judge Ontiveros. Senator Judge Lacson. Senator Judge Lapid. Senator Judge Legarda. Senator Judge Marcoleta. Senator Judge Marcos. Senator Judge Padilla. Senator Judge Pangilinan. Senator Judge Soto III. Senator Judge Tulfo Erwin, Senator Judge Tulfo Rafi, Senator Judge Villanueva, Senator Judge Villar Camille, Senator Judge Villar Mark, Senator Judge Zubiri, the presiding officer, Senator Judge Escudero, the Senate President, Chairman T. Gatchalian.
With 17 senators present, the chair declares the presence of the quorum. We note the presence of Senator Judge Bongo. We have 18, and Senator Judge Amy Marcos. We have 19 senators present. We have 18 senators present for the record.
If there are no objections, we dispense with the reading of the July 8, 2026 Journal of the Senate sitting as an impeachment court and consider the same as approved. The clerk will please call the case before the impeachment court.
Case number 004-2026 in the matter of the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte.
Appearances?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Same appearance for the prosecution. We are ready, Your Honor.
Noted. Appearances for the counsel for the respondent?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Same appearance for the respondent accused.
Noted. Prosecution, call your next witness.
Your Honors, before we...
Senator Rafi Tulfo is seeking recognition. What is the pleasure of Senator Judge Rafi Tulfo?
Thank you, Presiding Judge Escudero. Short inquiry lang po for the defense, particularly kay Attorney Mark Biduan. Attorney Binuan. During the last hearing, when you delivered a manifestation in reply to the prosecution's statement regarding the fourth article of impeachment, you said, and I quote, "The truth of the matter is this: she and her family were threatened, and while her response was unconventional, it was justified. What triggered her response was a question about Operation Romanov, which is the plot to eliminate VP Sara and her family." End of quote. Now, Attorney Binluan, this Operation Romanov that you mentioned, Are you referring to the Operation Romanov mentioned by the blogger Princess Maui during the online press conference of BP Sara?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So the question was raised during the press con by this Princess Maui, but I did not see her name sa list of defense witnesses in the pretrial order. So will you be presenting her as your witness?
Your Honor, at this point, it will depend on what will be established by the prosecution. The defense reserve its right to call or not call any witness depending on the course of the trial.
Oh, I see. Okay. So, in other words, will you also be presenting any other witness to prove this threat or this Operation Romanov?
Yes, Your Honor, that will be part of our evidence in chief.
May this court know now kung sino-sino itong mga witnesses na inyo i-present?
Of course, Your Honor. We are not at liberty to disclose that at this time. Again, it will depend on the course of the trial.
Your Honors, presiding judge, the first time I've heard about this Romanov is during the Maisog Leaders Forum in Davao City. That was on January 28, 2024. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was mentioned by Mayor Baste Duterte. At that time, hindi ko alam anong ibig sabihin ng Romanov at sino mga ito. In fact, ginugil ko yan. Sino tong family Romanov? So napag-alaman ko, apparently, they were the ruling family in Russia that was murdered by the Bolsheviks in the night of July 16, 1918. Malapit-lapit na sa anniversary, 108th anniversary. Kasi ano ba tayo ngayon, July 13. Anyway, may relasyon ba ito sa binanggit ni Baste sa sinabi ni Princess Maui at yung binanggit mo? Magkakarelasyon ba yung tatlo?
Your Honor, I have no personal knowledge of what Mayor Baste said, so I cannot comment on that, Your Honor.
So hindi mo napanood yun? Hindi...
No, Your Honor.
Okay. And last question. What did you mean when you said that BP Sara's response was unconventional?
Your Honor, it was a description, Your Honor, of the statements that she made during that press call.
Kaya nga, why do you consider it, why is it unconventional?
Your Honor, the basic meaning of the word is, it will explain itself, Your Honor.
Okay. That's all, presiding judge and
Noted
President.
and entered into the records. Yes, what is the pleasure of the Honorable Defensor, one of the members of the panel of prosecutors? You may proceed, sir.
Thank you, Your Honors. Your Honors, before we proceed with the examination of our second witness, Your Honors, the prosecution is in receipt of a letter dated July 10, 2026 from NBI Director Melvin A. Matibag requesting that his testimony be scheduled or calendared at the earliest setting, considering that the National Bureau of Investigation, Your Honors, has been invited by the Federal Bureau of Investigation in coordination with the Royal Thai Police for a regional summit on scam center compounds and transnational organized crime. In that regard, Your Honor, the prosecution would like to request that the scheduled testimony of NBI Director Melvin Matibag be scheduled tomorrow after the testimony of our second witness, Attorney Jeremy A. Lotoc.
After the testimony of your second witness.
Yes, Your Honors.
But the supposed witness scheduled for tomorrow is Attorney Zulaika Lopez, per the gentleman's manifestation in the last hearing.
That's correct, Your Honor. After we have dispensed with the testimony of NBI Director Matibag, we can proceed with the schedule of witnesses as provided in the list to the senator judges last week, Your Honors.
To include Captain Bello, if I'm not
Yes,
mistaken?
we can proceed with Attorney Lopez and Captain Bello as manifested last week, Your Honors.
What is the pleasure of Senator Judge Cayetano, Alan?
Mr. Presiding Officer, if no one objects, I will not object to having Director Matibag yesterday, but maybe as a caution to government officials, my good friend, Congressman Defensor, I read over the weekend that Director Matibag is writing because he is to be in a convention meeting the FBI next week. So actually, we're going to be here 30 weeks. We have put aside many, many important things. We have put aside many foreign trips, many local trips, whether it's to help dun sa tinamaan ng lindol sa Mindanao or tinatamaan ng baha ngayon, because we have to be here 2 o'clock until matapos tayo every Monday to Wednesday, then after the SONA every Tuesday to Wednesday. I find it in bad taste that a bureau head will dictate to us that he's not available next week. I was Secretary of Foreign Affairs. That's why you have undersecretaries. That's why you have deputy directors. So I mean, I admire the patience of the prosecution, no? But even the prosecution, they have a way of timing and laying down the witnesses. So I don't want later on to say na dapat natanong ko muna to sa unang witness, kaya lang si Director Matibag inuna dahil ganito, ganyan. No, so I'd like to put that on the record and ask my colleagues if that's acceptable to us. I mean, yung 20, well, at least those who are not in jail or the 21 of us are here. The whole government nakatutok. We put aside so many important things. And then one witness who is in the government, who is a bureau head, will tell us sorry, but because he has to be with the FBI, siya na yung mauna tomorrow. That might be a bad precedent, Mr. Presiding Officer.
May I be allowed to give a reply, Your
Gentleman
Honor?
will please respond to the point of Senator Judge Alan Cayetano.
With due respect to the Honorable Senator Judge Alan Peter Cayetano, we will always respect the decision of the Honorable Court. However, we will only be advancing his testimony one day based on the subpoena that we have requested the Honorable Court. He is scheduled to testify until Wednesday, and that we will not disrupt the scheduled list of witnesses. We will simply advance it one day, Your Honor.
With due respect, Congressman, Representative Defensor, I asked that question poignantly last week. If Matibag will be one of your witnesses for this week, and you said no. In fact, you corrected Attorney Ligutan when he mentioned Director Matibag as one of your witnesses, and instead gave me a list of Lotoc, Zulaika Lopez, and Captain Bello. Matibag was not included. In fact, I don't think we issued a subpoena for Director Matibag for this week, given your manifestation after you took over, given that you have, as you said, control and supervision over the counsel for the prosecutors. So he's not in your list this week. He's not being advanced for a day, sir.
May I respond, Your Honors?
Please so.
Your
Please
Honors,
do so,
that's
sir.
correct. I gave a list of witnesses scheduled for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. However, Your Honor, to add, I also added that since NBI Director Matibag has been requested for a subpoena to testify within the week, I also added in my statement that we will inform the Honorable Court which day we can present the Honorable Matibag, and I was expecting him to be presented on one Wednesday after the testimony of Captain Belinda Bello, Your Honors.
I confirm that, but the situation is, given the one witness per day rule that we supposedly have under the rules of court, no subpoena has yet been issued to Director Matibag to appear this week. Can the clerk of court kindly confirm that for us on the record?
No subpoena has been issued for NBI Director Matibag.
May I
For this
respond?
week,
May I respond, Your Honor?
Senator Judge Alan Cayetano is recognized.
Actually, my statement and my question to the court is not really addressed to the prosecution. You will have to do the best you can to represent, what you're fighting for, no? So I commend you for adjusting, but my recollection is, because I'm also waiting for his testimony, and my recollection last week he said that we will not see him this week. And I think 11 days, no? 11 days ang
That's correct, Your Honor.
sa article na to. So we're on day 4. So kung hindi siya pwedeng next week, that's day 7, 8, 9. Again, I don't want to dictate sa prosecution or but to to suddenly say na tomorrow na siya, when I'm preparing for our oral argument tomorrow and the other witnesses is a little bit, it's a small inconvenience for today. But I hope it doesn't become a rule, especially for a bureau head. I mean, if no one else objects, but if someone objects, I don't think it's really a good rule. You know, rules are important. I'll have to keep, you say technicalities. No, rules are important. So even yung notice, we agreed on, presiding officer, 3-day ba? 5-day notice.
5 days for witnesses not mentioned in the pretrial order.
And then 3 days kapag
3 days, given the fact that we will be announcing the witnesses for the following
Yes.
week on the last day.
Yeah, anyway, I said my piece, but I hope we will not be able to move faster if we have to accommodate the witnesses, especially if they're in government.
May I add something, Your Honors,
before
we...
the Honorable Defensor, presiding officer would like to hear from the counsel for the respondents. Attorney Binlon, what say you?
Yes, Your Honor. We would have to oppose on the basis of the following. Number one, it will be in violation, Your Honor, of the impeachment court's directive that was given last week, insofar as the identities of the witnesses and as well as the order of the presentation. Number two, Your Honor, it will be, again, as mentioned by Senator Judge Cayetano, a violation of the 5-day notice rule. Since while he was subpoenaed the week before, Your Honor, we are learning that he will be presented this week. So the 5-day notice will not be observed. Number three, the prosecution cannot compel also the defense and this impeachment court to present witnesses according to their schedule, considering also that these witnesses have already been identified and determined. Of course, it will be a violation of the basic tenets of fair play, and to join again the manifestation of Senator Judge Cayetano, it will set a bad precedent insofar as surprise witnesses will be allowed at any point in the proceedings. Number five would be, it will also violate our right to cross-examine intelligently. We have done our best to prepare for their witnesses. However, these last-minute changes really affect the preparation involved, Your Honor, and insofar as laying down the case that we want to establish. And finally, if there are violations of these preceding rights, there will be a violation of procedural due process, which of course can give way to another ground to further delay the proceedings. Moreover, Your Honor, we would, if the prosecution would also allow, can we also get a copy, Your Honor, of that invitation? And maybe inquire of the prosecution if at the particular travel authority has already been made. Because, Your Honor, we received information as well that the FBI had already conducted a summit, a regional summit of some sort, but it was conducted in other words, last month, Your Honor. Also in Bangkok, Thailand. So we would have to, again, manifest and we would have to study, Your Honor, the invitation and counter-check and do the proper verification as well. So that if it is indeed viable, then we would understand, Your Honor, why it has to be attended to by Director Matibag, Your Honor.
Senate President Gatchalian is recognized. You may proceed, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. Sinusuportahan ko po yung statement ni Senator Judge Alan Cayetano dahil hindi lang naman po yung counsels ng prosecution at defense na naghahanda, pati mo mga senator judges naghahanda rin. At sa totoo lang ho, itong weekend, marami rin sa ating mga senator judges ay pinag-aaralan kung ano yung kanilang maitatanong sa mga testigong ihaharap po ngayong linggo. Marami po ay pinag-aralan po yung mga ebidensyang in-upload na ho para po sa ating mga senator judges. At hindi ho ito konting ebidensya, pinag-uusapan ho natin dito. Libo-libong mga papel at libo-libong mga ebidensya. Kaya kung bigla pong may isisingit na testigo, hindi ho rin makakahanda po yung ating mga senator judges sa kanilang pagtatanong at hindi rin ho nila mababasa yung mga dokumento at ebidensya na nakakabit ho doon sa testigong iharap. Kaya napakahirap naman po na naghahanda ho tayo pero biglang may mga ganitong suppression na hindi ho natin paghahandaan. At hindi naman ho yan magiging maayos at patas para po sa ating mga senator judges. Maraming salamat po.
For the record, Chair would like to confirm the statement of the Honorable Defensor. I will quote, Presiding Officer, quote, so Director Matibag is not yet going to be presented next week. Representative Defensor, not yet, Your Honor. We will manifest on Monday. If we can consider him for the Wednesday session, depending on how the trial goes and how long the testimonies will take for both parties. With the permission of Senators, Senator Judge Cayetano and the Senate President, may we defer our ruling on this matter and ask the counsel for the prosecution to submit to us the letter given to you by Director Matibag for us to be able to look at it, copy furnished, of course, the counsel for the respondent, so that we can adequately go over it and hopefully come up with a ruling before the day is over.
We submit,
would
Your
that be
Honor.
possible?
We will submit the letter. The Honorable
Thank you,
Court.
Your Honor. So we shall do it that way. Kindly furnish a copy to the counsel for the respondents as well for their review.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your
Given
Honor,
counsel for respondent, Attorney Binluen's
Your Honor,
manifestation
if if the travel authority is also available, if we can ask
If
for a
the-
travel authority, if it's already issued.
yes, of course. Kindly furnish us that as well.
Your Honors, we will submit in good faith whatever the prosecution has received from Director Matibag, Your Honor.
As well as
Kindly communicate with him if possible, if he already has a travel authority for the same, so that we could evaluate it based on what you have. We
Yes,
cannot
Your Honor.
evaluate it based on what you don't have, so we will presume if you don't have it, it's not yet there.
Your Honor,
Yes,
one last
Attorney
addition. Considering that there's a, if and when they provide the travel authority, I understand, Your Honor, that one of the requirements is also the official invitation from the foreign body. So if they can also provide that, Your Honor,
Well-
so that we can do a full review of this matter.
Attorney Binluen, it's not really for the full review of the counsel for the prosecution, but rather for this court's evaluation, whether or not to allow the motion of the counsel panel of prosecutors. But everything that will be submitted to us, you will be furnished with a copy.
We will
so that you
submit
can argue your way through this motion before we decide on it. So ordered. Counsel for the panel of prosecutors, kindly call your next witness.
Your Honors, I respectfully request that the counsel for the panel of House prosecutors, Attorney Virgil Ligutan, be recognized for the presentation of our second witness.
Attorney Ligutan, counsel for the prosecutors, is recognized to present the prosecution's second witness. You may proceed, sir.
Mayong hapon sa atong tanan, the second witness for the prosecution is no other than Attorney Jeremy C. Lotoc, Your Honor, please. We call to the witness stand Attorney Lotoc.
Kindly situate Attorney Lotoc to the witness stand. Attorney Lotoc, please remain standing as the clerk of court administers the oath. Yes, so far as the prosecution's second witness is concerned. Clerk of court is recognized.
Please raise your right hand. You, Jeremy C. Lotoc,
I, Jeremy C. Lotoc,
do swear
do swear
that the evidence you shall give
that the evidence that I will be giving
in the case now pending
in the case now pending
between the Philippines and Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte
between the Philippines and Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Your witness, counsel for the prosecutors.
Attorney Lotoc, you may sit down.
Thank you, sir.
Your Honors, the testimony of our second witness, Attorney Jeremy C. Lotoc, is offered to prove the following. Number one, Jeremy Lotoc is a lawyer by profession, and he was the chief of the Cybercrime Division of the National Bureau of Investigation, or NBI, in 2024. Pangalawa, kasama siya sa NBI team na nagsagawa ng investigasyon sa mga pagbabanta ng Vice Presidente na ginawa sa isang online media briefing noong Nobyembre 23, taong 2024, kung saan diniklara ng Vice Presidente na siya ay kumontrata na ng isang tao para patayin ang Pangulo ng Republika ng Pilipinas, ang unang ginang at ang dating Speaker ng House of Representatives. Pangatlo, napag-alaman ng NBI na ang mga pagbabanta ng Vice Presidente ay seryoso at totoo matapos silang isaalang-alang ang mga sumusunod. Una, the manner of the respondent's delivery of the statement that she intended her remarks to be real and serious threats. She was not merely joking when she uttered those threats. Pangalawa, mga kababayan, even before that fateful press conference on November 23, 2024, bago yung press conference na yan, may nakontrata ng mamamatay tao yung Vice Presidente bago pa man ang press conference na yan. Pangatlo, ang utos ng Vice Presidente sa assassin na huwag siyang titigil hanggat hindi napapatay ang Pangulo ng Pilipinas, ang unang ginang at ang Speaker ng House of Representatives ay nagpapakita na ang Vice Presidente ay determinado at porsigido sa kanyang pagbabanta. Number 4, the result of the investigation and after determining that the respondent's threats are serious and real, led the NBI to file complaints for 3 counts of grave threats and 1 count of inciting to sedition. Number 5, this witness, Attorney Lotoc, will identify and authenticate the affidavit of investigation, the annexes, as well as a couple of videos in relation to the NBI's investigation. And number 6 offer, he will also testify on such other matters as are relevant and material to the impeachment of the Vice President. Ready for comment, Your Honor, please.
Counsel for the respondent, Attorney Binluan.
Subject across, Your Honor.
Thank you so
The
much.
counsel for the prosecutor may proceed.
Daghang salamat, Mr. Presiding Officer, Honorable Judges. Attorney Lotoc,
Sir.
maupay nga kulop haibo.
Maupay nga kulupman, sir.
Waray-waray po. We are both waray-waray. At the same time, siguro, Attorney Lotoc, pwede bang mas malapit pa sa microphone para marinig ng sambayanan lahat ng isasagot ko mo sa mga tanong ko? Okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Lotoc, kindly state your name, edad, and other personal circumstances.
I am Attorney Jeremy C. Lotoc, 50 years of age, and currently the Regional Director of the NBI Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, sir.
Sinabi mo ikaw ay isang abogado, Attorney Lotoc, di ba?
Opo.
Now, yung tanong, kailan ka naging membro ng ating Philippine Bar?
I was admitted to the Philippine Bar and took my lawyer's oath in 2013, sir.
2013. Now, Mr. Lotoc, ano ba yung current position mo, occupation mo, kung meron man?
The regional director of the NBI Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, sir.
Ikaw ay isang NBI Regional Director for BARMM. Now, yung tanong is, how long have you been with the NBI?
I've been in the NBI for the past 12 years, sir.
12 years. No? Tanong is, I think, based on my counting, that would be since 2014. Tama po ba?
Opo, Your Honor.
Now, kailan ka ba na-designate as the NBI Regional Director ng BARMM?
I was designated in January this year as Regional Director of the NBI BARMM, sir.
January 2026. Now, prior to your designation as the NBI Regional Director for BARMM, ano ba yung previous position mo within NBI?
I was the Regional Director for Region 4B or Mimaropa, sir. I think July 2025.
July 2025 you became. Okay, now, prior to your designation as NBI Regional Director for Mimaropa, what was your previous position kung meron man?
I was the Chief of the NBI Cybercrime Division, Your Honor.
Chief ng NBI Cybercrime Division. Now, kailan ka? Kailan ka na-designate as Chief ng NBI Cybercrime Division?
I was designated in February 2023, sir.
2023. No? Now, sinabi mo ikaw ay naging Chief ng NBI Cybercrime Division. Now, yung tanong, Mr. Attorney Lotoc, is what were your primary duties and functions bilang hepe ng NBI Cybercrime Division?
Primary duties, among others, to plan, direct, supervise the investigation of cybercrime cases pursuant to Republic Act 10175 and other relevant laws. And part of my duties and responsibilities is to investigate high-profile cases pursuant to Republic Act 10867, specifically crimes committed by, through and with the use of information and communication technology, sir.
Now, Mr. Witness, of course, you are aware na ikaw ay tumitestigo sa impeachment trial ng respondent. Now, yung tanong is, kilala mo ba yung respondent sa kasong ito?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, yung tanong now is, why do you know her?
She is the incumbent Vice President of the Philippines, and she is the subject of the investigation by the NBI Cybercrime Division, Your Honor.
So, nasabi mo, she is the subject of an investigation ng NBI Cybercrime Division. Now, yung tanong, Attorney Lotoc, is, kailan ba? Kailan nagsimula yung investigation ng NBI Cybercrime Division on the respondent?
November 23, 2024, sir.
November 23, 2024. Yung tanong now, Attorney Lotoc, is why? Why did the Cybercrime Division commence an investigation on the Vice President?
We were directed by the then Director Judge IBB Santiago to conduct an investigation with regard to a certain video involving an online press conference held on November 23, 2024, where the Vice...
You mentioned Presidente, Vice President, tsaka yung iba pa. Now, you mentioned, Attorney Lotoc, that the NBI conducted an investigation on the respondent's statements during an online media briefing on November 23, 2024. Yung tanong now, Attorney Lotoc, is, what exactly did the respondent say on that day that resulted to the investigation?
On that online press conference held on November 23, 2024, the Vice President uttered the following. Huwag kang mag-alala, ma'am, sa security ko sapagkat may kinausap na akong tao. Ang sabi ko sa kanya, pag pinatay ako, patayin mo si BBM, si Lisa Marcos, si Martin Romualdez. No joke, no joke. Nagbilin na ako, ma'am. Ang sabi ko sa kanya, pag namatay ako, huwag kang tumigil hanggat hindi mo sila mapapatay. And he said yes.
Now, Attorney Lotoc, no, yun yung statement. No? Now, sino ba yung mga membro ng investigation team na galing sa division mo, yung cybercrime division?
We have Attorney Van Angluben, the then Executive Officer for Operations ng Cybercrime Division. Attorney Vanessa Asuncion, the Executive Officer for Administration back then. John Mark Kalilong, the agent on case, and myself, Your Honor.
You mentioned Agent John Mark Kalilong,
Yes, Your Honor.
the same person who testified before you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Witness, how did your division commence the investigation?
I instructed the team, specifically Agent Kalilong, that for this particular case, we have to follow the 5 phases or stages of cybercrime investigation, sir.
So you instructed John Mark Kalilong to follow 4 stages of the investigation.
The team and John Mark Kalilong, sir.
Now, you mentioned, Attorney Lotoc, yung 4 stages ng Cybercrime Division for the information ng ating honorable judges sa kanyang publiko. This is the question now. Ano ba yung 4 stages ng investigation na ito?
Yeah, Your Honor. For that particular case, first, the identification and preservation of the digital evidence, the collection and hashing of that same digital evidence. That's the second phase. The analysis and attribution phase, the third one, and then the legal evaluation and case filing as the final phase, sir.
So these are the 4 stages. Now, if you know, what was Agent Kalilong's response, and if any, sa naging instruction mo sa kanya na sundin yung 4 stages ng cybercrime investigation?
Well, he said yes, and then he proceeded to identify. He proceeded to identify and preserve.
Continue.
Identify and preserve the digital evidence in question, sir.
Now, you said that you instructed Agent Kalilong to identify and preserve, na mention mo, digital evidence. Yung tanong now is, what is this evidence that you are referring to?
It refers to a certain video, Your Honor, involving an online press conference held on November 23, 2024, which was streamed through the Facebook page of one Attorney Herminio Lopez Roque Jr. or Harry Roque, Your Honor.
So it was the Facebook page of Harry Roque who live streamed the video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, now, Mr. Witness, after Agent Kalilong identified and preserved yung sinasabi mong video, which you said is the first stage of the investigation, ano yung nangyari after that, kung meron man, tsaka kung alam mo?
Yes, Your Honor. The agent on case proceeded to collect that digital evidence and generated hash value on that digital evidence, and at the same time stored that in a data carrier, Your Honor.
Alam mo, Attorney Lotoc, this is the first time na narinig natin yung term na hash value. And I think it's just proper na yung next question ko para malaman ng publiko, Attorney Lotoc, ano ba yung hash value na yan?
Well, under the implementing rules and regulation of Republic Act 10175 or the Reorganization and Modernization Act of NBI, hash value refers to mathematical algorithm applied to the information like the file, the physical disk, or the logical disk. In this case, the digital evidence thereby creating a digital fingerprint or DNA for that information or digital evidence, Your Honor.
So to create a fingerprint for the video, is that what you're saying?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, the video.
All right. Now, Mr. Witness, after the identification, preservation, collection, and hashing, so far these are the two stages, what happened next, if any, in relation to your investigation on the Vice President's statement?
We proceeded to the analysis and attribution phase.
Now, ano yung nangyari kung meron man, tsaka kung alam mo, in this analysis and attribution phase?
In the analysis, we established the intent, the motive, the capability of the Vice President to carry out the threat she mentioned, as well as we proceeded to identify the individuals present in that press conference on November 23, 2024, sir.
Okay, so sinabi mo, you proceeded to identify the different individuals in that video. Siguro yung publiko, they're now interested. So, what happened? What happened pagkatapos yung mag-proceed sa pag-identify sino ba yung nasa video na yan?
First, we have identified media personalities from Philippine Daily Inquirer, from the Manila Times, from the Reuters, SMNI, etc. And then we have also identified the Vice President herself, who in her presence, openly and publicly, uttered that she had already contracted a person to kill the President, Lisa Marcos, and the former Speaker of the House, and instructed the person to be relentless in killing the three. And it was streamed through the Facebook page again of Harry Roque, Your Honor.
You said to be relentless in the killing. Okay, now, after finding out that indeed the Vice President uttered that, to be relentless in the killing, what happened next, if any, in relation to the investigation you conducted?
We continued the open source investigation to determine if there were utterances made by the Vice President in previous dates, Your Honor.
Now, ano ba yung naging resulta, kung meron man, tsaka kung alam mo, sa naging open source investigation ng NBI into sinasabi mong mga previous statements ng Vice President?
We have found a press conference dated October 18, 2024, streamed through the official Facebook page of the Office of the Vice President. And we were able to identify, for us, being the investigator, at least three material lines or utterances made by the Vice President, sir.
Okay. So you said in that press conference, sinabi mo, you found three utterances or statements ng Vice President. Okay,
Among
now,
others, sir, yeah.
among others. So let's focus on these three. Ano ba yung three statements na sinasabi mo?
Well, the first one, the Vice President uttered, gusto kong tanggalin yung ulo niya ba? And then the second one, the Vice President uttered, I realized toxic na itong relationship, referring to the relationship between the Vice President and the President. And then number three, I imagine myself cutting his head.
Okay now.
Your Honor.
Recap, sinabi mo, gusto kong tanggalin nung ulo niya. And then sinabi mo rin sa third, I imagine cutting his head. Based on your investigation, Attorney Lotoc, kaninong ulo ba yung rinirefer ng Vice President na gusto niyang tanggalin?
The President of the Republic of the Philippines, sir.
Yung ulo ng Presidente ng Republika ng Pilipinas.
Opo.
What proof, if any, do you have that the Vice President said this?
We have that video, Your Honor, dated October 18, 2024.
Now, kung maalala mo, Mr. Witness, saang portion ng video na iyan maririnig yung Vice President, sinasabi yung mga katagang, gusto kong tanggalin yung ulo niya, imagine myself cutting his head.
Your Honor, if I may refer to my notes.
Your Honor, I move that.
Witness may do so.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, may my co-counsel be allowed also to produce?
Yes, counsel for respondent may observe as the witness peruses his notes.
Your Honor, may we also be allowed to do the same through
Similar
Attorney
order
Stephen
with
Maganon?
respect to the counsel for the prosecutor.
Your Honor, from timestamps 1 hour, 35 minutes, and 57 seconds to 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 10 seconds. And then 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 52 seconds. And then 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 58 seconds.
Okay, so far, Your Honor, for the record, okay, Your Honor, please, sorry. The gentleman mentioned 2 timestamps. So question, if those portions, okay, are shown to you, will you be able to identify the same?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, at this juncture, Your Honor, please, the video has already been identified, marked and identified by our previous witness, and it is marked as Exhibit P-Roman numeral 4-11 for the prosecution. We move that these 2 portions with individual timestamps, as mentioned, be shown to this witness for his identification, Your Honor, please.
Where is the USB, counsel?
Your Honor, we move that we be allowed to unseal the marked exhibit, Your Honor, please, that was presented last time, Your Honor, please. It's with us. It's with the prosecution.
Kindly unseal the document in the presence of the counsel for respondent. Witness is instructed to unseal the USB. This has been previously marked. So after the unsealing, counsel for the prosecutor and for the respondent are instructed to kindly accompany each other to the tech booth to make sure it is the same, one and the same USB that will be played. Kung may bala kayong buksan ulit, huwag nyo na masyadong i-tape na madami. Para hindi masyadong matagal pag i-unseal.
For the record, this will be timestamps 1 hour, 35 minutes to 57 seconds to 1 hour, 36 minutes and 10 seconds for the first timestamp, for the first portion. And the second portion is from 1 hour, 36 minutes to 52 seconds to 1 hour, 36 minutes and 58 seconds.
Gusto ko tanggalin yung ulo niya ba? I realized toxic na yung relationship.
There's one more counsel, right?
Yes, Your Honor. Waiting for the second video. Consisting of 6 seconds only, Your Honor, please.
Imagined myself cutting his head.
Okay, thank you so much, Your Honor, please. May proceed, Your Honor, please.
Counsel may proceed.
Mr. Witness, what relation, if any, do those videos have, portions of the videos have, with the video you mentioned earlier?
That's the same video I mentioned, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's proceed. Attorney Lotoc now. After you discovered these previous statements by the Vice President, what happened next, if any, in relation to the investigation you conducted on the Vice President's statements on November 23, 2024?
Yes, Your Honor. We have also discovered reactions from the recipients, specifically from the President himself, the Speaker of the House, relevant government agencies tasked to secure the life of the President and the national security,
Okay.
Your Honor.
Thank you so much. You know, Mr. Witness, let's focus on the President kasi it's his head eh. Ulo ng Presidente yung gustong tanggalin ng Vice President. Let's focus on the President. Now, what did he say again in particular?
If I may refer to my notes, sir.
Your Honor,
You may do so.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. Among others, quote, nakakabahala ang mga pahayag na narinig natin nitong mga nakaraang araw. Nandyan ang walang pakundangang pagbumura at ang pagbabanta ng planong ipapatay ang ilan sa atin. Kung ganon na lang kadali ang pagplano sa pagpatay ng isang presidente, paano pa kaya ang mga pangkaraniwan na mamamayan? Yang ganyang kriminal na pagtatangka ay hindi dapat pinalalampas. Yan ay aking papalagan. Unquote.
now, thank you so much. Okay. Attorney Lotoc, you said that the former Speaker of the House of Representatives also gave yung tugon niya sa naging mga pagbabanta ng Vice Presidente laban sa buhay niya. Could you just summarize exactly ano ba yung tugon ng former Speaker ng House of Representatives?
Yes, Your Honor, if I remember it right, I think the Speaker issued a statement during the plenary session November 25, 2024, which was published in the ANC Digital. And among others, the former Speaker stated that The utterances were dangerous, unprecedented. Isa itong banta sa demokrasya at sa seguridad ng bansa.
Alright, now, Mr. Witness, Atty. Lotoc, sinabi mo rin na may mga ahensya ng gobyerno na nagbigay din ng kanilang tugon sa mga pagbabanta ng Vice Presidente. If you may, anong mga ahensya na ito?
Yes, Your Honor. For one, the Presidential Communications Office, the Philippine National Police, the National Security Council, and the Armed Forces of the Philippines.
Okay. Let's focus on muna sa Presidential Communications Office. Na ano ba yung statement ng Presidential Communications Office kung alam mo?
If I remember it right, the PCO classified the threat as an active threat
As an active threat.
and directed the Presidential Security Command to, I think, investigate the matter.
As an active threat.
It was the Executive Secretary who directed the Presidential Security Command, sir, based on that statement.
Okay. Now, sinabi mo rin yung Philippine National Police. Yung tanong is kung maalala mo, ano ba yung sinabi ng PNP in response sa naging mga pagbabanta ng Vice Presidente sa buhay ng Presidente sa kayong dalawa pa?
Your Honor, if I may refer to my notes.
Your Honor?
You may do so, Your Honor. You may do so, Mr. Witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The Philippine National Police issued a statement relative to the press conference made by the Vice President. Quote, the Philippine National Police threats any threat to the safety and security of the President and all public officials with the utmost seriousness in light of the Vice President Sara Duterte's recent statement, which directly referenced an assassin contracted to target the President. The PNP recognizes the grave nature of this matter. The safety of the President is a national concern, and any direct or indirect threat to his life must be addressed with the highest level of urgency. Close, unquote. Hindi ko na binasa lahat,
Alright. Now,
Your Honor.
Atty. Lotoc, now, the PNP used, based on your statement as the response of the PNP used the term assassin in referring to the person contracted by the Vice President to kill the President and two others?
Your Honor, it was not just the PNP, even the Presidential Communications Office also used the term assassin, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, what about the National Security Council? Ano bang sinabi ng NSC kung alam mo?
Again, Your Honor, if I may refer to my notes. Pwede na ba?
Your Honor? Your Honor? May the witness be allowed to refer to his notes once more?
You may do so, Mr. Witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, the question was about the statement of the NSC, right?
Yes.
Quote, the National Security Council considers all threats to the President of the Philippines as serious. Any and all threats against the life of the President shall be validated and considered a matter of national security, unquote.
Okay. Now, sinabi mo rin na yung Armed Forces of the Philippines or AFP nagbigay din ng kanilang response sa naging pagbabanta ng Vice Presidente. Kung alam mo, tsaka kung maaalala mo, ano ba yung sinabi ng Armed Forces of the Philippines?
Same, Your Honor, if I may refer to my notes.
record, we're borrowing. Just for the record.
For orderly proceeding, Your Honor, please, I think it's proper for Attorney Season to ask to be recognized first.
Yes, Your Honor, we will do that. If I may be recognized, Your Honor.
Depends. What is the pleasure of Attorney Counsel for Respondent Attorney Season?
We'll just state an observation on the notes.
Your Honor, I think
Counsel,
you
we
must be
agreed
recognized first.
that only one counsel shall speak insofar as the presentation of a witness is concerned. This was objected to by the counsel for respondents, even if it was asked for by the counsel for the prosecutors.
Your Honor,
We will do that,
for the
Your
record,
Honor.
we are not objecting, but for a properly proceeding Attorney Season.
Counsel,
should
it's
be asked to be
okay. The chair will
recognized.
make a ruling. Attorney Vinluan can
Thank you.
handle
Thank you,
the,
Your Honor.
with your permission, Attorney Season.
Your Honor, I'd just like to share the observation that the witness is reading from notes, from his notes, and not directly from the document that he identified.
And if I may reply to that, Your Honor, to that non-issue, Your Honor, if I may.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, there's nothing.
Yes, counsel for the prosecutors.
Your Honor, wala po sa rules na kailangan na yung tugon ng isang witness, sinabi niyang notes, dapat based sa isang dokumento. In fact, Your Honor, please, yung iniisip ng ating rules, yung mga notes na ginawa mismo ng witness. For the public, if you're interested, you may look at Rule 130, Section 16 ng Rules of Court. Andun yun, pwedeng tingnan ng isang testigo yung notes na ginawa niya. Rule 130, Section 16, Honor, please.
Before I recognize counsel for respondent, Senator Judge Lacson, what is your pleasure, sir?
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. This is relevant to the discussion.
The gentleman may proceed and he has 2 minutes.
Yes. You requested to refer to your notes, a number of times during your direct examination. Ang tanong ko,
Opo.
are you referring to an investigator's notes or notebook or simply notes?
No, Your Honor. During the investigation, I have copies of the affidavit of investigations
Okay.
that we have.
Yeah, I asked that question because my understanding of an investigator's notes or notebook to be credible and may even be used as part of the examination or evidence in chief, depending on its authenticity and purpose. And the rule of evidence is that the contents therein were written on the exact dates when the subjects of those notes actually happened. Ito ba yung ginawa nyo mismo?
Yes, Your Honor, during
Thank
the
you.
investigation.
Thank you
Your
for the clarification.
Thank you, Senator Judge Lacson. Noted and entered into the records. Counsel for respondent, what is your pleasure?
Your Honor, that was a mere manifestation, Your Honor. We just want to put it for the record.
There being no objections, some witness may proceed and answer, or counsel may proceed with his questions.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines. Ano sinabi ng Armed Forces? Are we done? Not yet. Okay, so let's go back.
Yeah, if I may, Your Honor.
Yes.
Witness may continue to answer.
Thank you, Your Honor. On November 23, 2024, General Romeo S. Browner, Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, issued the following statements. Quote, the Armed Forces of the Philippines is a professional organization focused on its mandate to protect the people and the state. Our personnel are loyal to the Constitution and the chain of command, unquote. Hindi ko
Okay,
na po
now.
binasa lahat, sir.
Okay, now, after you and your team discovered these responses, Attorney Lotoc, what happened next, if any, kung meron man, tsaka kung alam mo, in relation sa investigation nyo, sa mga statements ng Vice President on that day, November 23, 2024?
We issued subpoena to the media personalities present during the online press conference of November 23, 2024. Sir,
What?
for them to appear on December 4, 2024, sir.
You issued a subpoena to the media personalities that you said andun sa media conference na iyon to appear on December 4, 2024. Now, sino ba yung mga media personalities na pinasubpoena ng NBI?
Again, Your Honor, if I may refer to my...
You may do so, Mr.
Thank you,
Witness.
thank you, Your Honor. First to the late Dempsey Saidin Reyes of the Philippine Daily Inquirer, and then to Redhor Marky J. Mendoza of the Manila Times, Bons Magsambol of Rappler, Ana Rosario Malindo Uy of the Manila Times, Jason Rubrico of the SMNI, and Mikael Flores of the Reuters, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, Mr. Witness, yung tanong now is, ba't kailangan isabpina ng NBI itong mga media personalities na ito na mag-appear sa NBI sa araw na iyon, December 4, 2024?
Your Honor, they were there during the online press con, and they participated the press conference. So, ang tingin namin, meron silang personal knowledge kasi nandoon sila at nag-participate po sila. Kaya, we deemed it proper to issue subpoena on them. Your Honor.
Now, so you said na they were subpoenaed to appear on December 4, 2024 in the NBI. Now, what happened on that day, December 4, 2024, if any, and if you know, in relation to the investigation you conducted?
The agent on case reported to me that Mr. Reyes and I think Mr. Magsambol appeared before the Office of the Cybercrime Division and participated in the process of the interview, sir.
Now, how do you know? How do you know that these two individuals, at least, si Dempsey Reyes, again, may his soul rest in peace, and Magsambol appeared before the NBI on that day, December 4, 2024?
Yes, Your Honor. Aside from the fact that the agent on case reported that to me, he showed to me the minutes of meeting wherein the signatures of the late Mr. Reyes and Magsambol were affixed on it, Your Honor.
Okay.
May nakapirma ho sila doon sa minutes of meeting, sir.
All right, now, thank you so much, Atty. Lotoc. Now, Atty. Lotoc, you said that your team interviewed members of the media. You issued subpoena to them and they appeared. Now, what else happened, if any, in relation to the investigation you conducted?
We issued subpoena ad testificandum to the Vice President herself to shed light in the investigation we are conducting, sir.
So you're telling the public that you, NBI, also issued a subpoena to the Vice President?
Yes, Your Honor.
answered, Your Honor.
Okay, now, proceed, Your Honor. Now, what proof, if any, do you have that in fact the NBI issued a subpoena addressed to the Vice President?
We have copy of that subpoena ad testificandum dated November 25, 2024, sir.
Now, kung yung subpoena na binigay ng NBI sa Vice Presidente may petsang Nobyembre 25 taong 2024 ipapakita sa iyo, makikilala mo ba yung dokumentong ito?
Opo.
Now, we are now in the process of presenting to you a subpoena ad testificandum dated on even date December 25, 2024. That
Counsel
is,
for the parties are authorized to approach
Thank
and
you so
view the
much.
document.
for the record, this is previously marked as Exhibit P dash Roman numeral 4 dash 4 for the prosecution. Have you perused the same, Attorney Lotoc?
Yes, Your Honor.
Question, what relation, if any, does that document have with the subpoena you mentioned?
This is the same subpoena I mentioned, sir.
Thank you so much. So the NBI issued a subpoena to the Vice President.
Your Honor, can we just make a comment?
Counsel for the respondents recognized.
We have.
Your Honor, may we just put on record that Exhibit P-4-4 is a photocopy and it was not, the original or the certified copy thereof was not produced.
We are ready to produce that, and that's the next step we are supposed to do. Your Honor,
Noted. Please proceed.
we have a copy of the certified true copy. We invite the defense to check the same for comparison, Your Honor, please.
Counsel for the respondent.
Your Honor, it is a faithful reproduction of the certified true copy, Your Honor.
Noted for the records.
May
Counsel
proceed,
for
Your
the
Honor.
prosecutors may proceed.
Now, Mr. Witness, we would like to know how did the Vice President respond, if any, if at all, and if you know, to the NBI's subpoena issued to her?
Well, the Vice President did not appear, Your Honor. Instead, she sent her lawyer, Attorney Paul Lawrence Lim, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, she did not appear.
Yes, Your Honor.
answered.
Okay, now, question. If you know, what was the Vice President's reason for failing to appear at the NBI, in the NBI, despite the subpoena issued to her?
I think the Vice President, in effect, was saying there were office matters to tend to, so she cannot attend the scheduled subpoena date, sir.
Office matters. Now, how did the respondent, the Vice President, inform you that she could not attend the subpoena because she was attending to, quote, office matters, unquote?
There was a letter, I think, dated November 28, 2024, which was submitted by the counsel of the Vice President, sir.
So the letter, December 20, 2024. Now, kung yung kopya ng letter na yan ipapakita sa iyo, ma-identify mo ba yung letter na ito?
Opo,
Now,
Your Honor.
we're in the process of showing you a copy of the letter dated November 28, 2024.
Counsel for the prosecutor may approach, as well as counsel for the respondent.
Yes, Your Honor. This is the same letter that I mentioned.
Your Honor, can I make a manifestation of these points?
The prosecutor may proceed.
Your Honor, the letter from the Vice President's lawyer is not marked an exhibit. At this juncture, Your Honor, please, if the defense will agree, we move that the same be marked as an additional exhibit for the prosecution, and the specific marking that we are asking the court to follow is Exhibit P-Roman numeral 4-32 for the prosecution, Your Honor, please.
Counsel for the respondent.
We have no objection to that, Your Honor.
So ordered. So marked.
Thank you so much. Now, so what did the... Your Honor, please. Your Honor, do we have to pause for the marking, or do I proceed?
Please proceed, counsel.
Thank you so much, Your Honor, please. Thank you so much. Now, so what did the NBI do? Anong ginawa ng NBI after yung Vice Presidente hindi sumipot sa NBI despite the subpoena, kung meron man?
Yes, Your Honor. We deemed it proper to issue another subpoena to give the Vice President another time so she can prepare. And at the same time, in reply to the letter submitted by the lawyer, we issued also a letter dated December 2, 2024, because the Vice President in that letter from her lawyer was asking copy of the complaint and the question to be propounded by the NBI to the Vice President.
All right. Now, let's go to that letter, Atty. Lotoc na. Puntahan natin yung letter na iyan. Now, kung alam mo, ano ba yung sinabi ng NBI sa letter na iyan na pinadala sa Vice President after hindi siya sumipot despite the subpoena sent to her?
Your Honor, the document would speak for itself. No need for the witness to read.
I think the counsel
Witness may
is...
answer
Yes.
if he knows.
Yeah, among others, sir, sinabi ho doon sa letter namin noong December 2, 2024 na ini-inform namin ang Vice Presidente na iniimbestigahan din po namin yung alleged threat against sa kanyang life. At sinabi namin na kailangan namin yung kanyang presensya para may makuha kaming information, para ho may mapagsimulan kami doon sa investigation against threat to her life, Your Honor.
Now, what proof, if any, do you have that the NBI issued another subpoena addressed to the Vice President?
Yeah, we have that copy of the subpoena dated, if I'm not mistaken, December 2, 2024. Sir?
Okay. Atty. Lotoc, kung yung kopya ng pangalawang subpoena ipapakita sa iyo, ma-identify mo ba?
Yes, sir.
Now, we are now in the process of showing you that subpoena. The defense may also check.
Counsel for the prosecutor as well as respondent may approach to compare.
And for the record, that second subpoena addressed to the Vice President